It's turning into a day of leadership transition announcements. PayPal has named a new CEO. It's Alex Chriss. He's going to take over the helm from longtime CEO Dan Schulman. That's going to happen at the end of September. Chriss currently works for Intuit, running its small business and self-employed group. During his time there, he oversaw the $12 billion acquisition of the marketing business MailChimp. And we've been waiting to find out. We knew that there was going to be a transition here.
Yeah.
We just didn't know who was going to be until they made this pick.
Yeah, Dan Schulman, storied executive for many years over at PayPal. I actually got to work on PayPal's transition as a public company after they were spun off from eBay several years ago in a prior life. And ultimately for Dan Schulman and the leadership, and I think who they were looking for, being able to tap somebody that essentially had a lot of the same experiences with the clientele and the client base that PayPal as well, and some of their merchants, third-party businesses and vendors. At the end of the day, there's a lot of kind of that overlap in what that client base and what that portfolio of clients is looking for, and perhaps having a smooth transition in terms of a CEO that can directly communicate with them and perhaps already has some of those major or similar relationships there. So good news there. And then additionally, there was another major changeover that we were tracking as well. You flagged this one just a moment ago over at Kraft Heinz taking place, where a leadership transition announcing Carlos Abrams Rivera as the chief executive officer and a member of the board. That's going to be effective January 1st of 2024.
Yeah, he's taking over Miguel Patricio, who had been the CEO since 2019. Mm-hmm. So already Carlos Abrams Rivera had been at the company. He's been executive vice president and president of the North America zone. So, he's been inside the company already here. He only, though, joined Kraft Heinz in 2020. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Patricio is going to become the non-executive chair of the board. So he still will have a role at the company. Yeah,
really interesting transitions that we've seen. And, for Dan Schulman over at PayPal, this will give him a little bit more time to practice Krav Maga, which we know he's big
Maybe
in.
so. I was looking up the performance of PayPal as we saw over the past year. It has been not great. The stock has fallen by nearly 40% over the past 12 months. Since he became CEO, that was back in July of 2015. He's been there for a long time. The stock is up about 70%, but that compares with a 115% gain for the S&P 500. So it has been up, but it has underperformed during his tenure. Most of that underperformance, or a lot of the underperformance, coming in, more recent years, as we have seen it roll over.
Yeah, that was the year of the spinoff that many of our viewers will remember. And it's been interesting to watch them specifically over the past 2 years, because that's where a lot of that fall off and some of the volatility in PayPal shares, but also at the same time where there have been more abilities for consumers to be able to pay, and digitally especially. And some of that, too, could be intertwined with a lot of the fanfare around cryptocurrency as well. Now, PayPal was one of the names that was going to be involved within Facebook's back then Libra currency. It's moved on since. It's got its own digital currency that they just recently announced. But for a lot of kind of the confluence of events that have taken place, whether that's Apple Pay or whether that's Square beefing up its own businesses in one way or another, a lot of the PayPal efforts here over the past couple of years will be interesting to see if there's a major strategy overhaul as well there.
Yeah.